just sitting out here. Just sitting out here on the runway. Got the door open. Just chilling out.
What airplane are you flying? A Cessna 172?
It's a 172 with the G1000 in it. Yes.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that. That's what I've been working with.
Well, keep it simple. I think that's the way to do it.
Well, I'm not sure a G1000 is simple, but a 172 is.
Well, I don't think we need to add turbines and spoilers and.
No, it just adds another level of complication.
Guns and missiles on it or anything. So.
Or guns and roses. Well, you've indicated that your intention is to fly from Sikyou County, California, to Weed.
Correct. That's the idea.
And then fly the RNAV GPS runway 14 approach to Weed. The MOG, non-directional beacon, which is what the obstacle departure procedure tells you to go straight to and climb in the holding pattern on that beacon. They're actually almost co-located. They're only just a fraction of a mile apart. GRENA and MOG. You see that?
I do.
They're almost the same point.
Yep, got that.
And so, as far as I'm concerned, you might as well just go straight to GRENA and hold at GRENA. If you look at the airway that goes across there, the Victor airway, then it's probably 7,000 or 10,000 minimum en route altitude.
Yeah. So I believe. Do you see this? Is this what we're looking at?
That's part of it. Now the blue is for using GPS.
Oh, I see.
The black is for using more conventional old school stuff, VORs. So we can just hold at GRENA at 5,100 feet. Now it's possible that we may get to 5,100 feet before we even get to GRENA, and in which case we wouldn't even have to hold.
All right.
But we want to be prepared for the hold. Down here at the bottom of this area for Monterey, just above Monterey, California, it says departure procedure, runway 17, climb, direct MOG NDB, continue the climb to 10,000 feet MOG holding pattern. And here it says hold north. That north means the bulk of this racetrack pattern is on the north side of the fix. That's what north means.
Okay, hold north of the fix.
And it'll be right turns.
And then after that, it's GRENA to DIMGE.
Yes, yeah. And one of those two is the initial approach fix for the approach.
IAF.
Initial approach fix. Every approach has one. IF is intermediate fix.
Oh, I see.
And then come down here to CANKI. That's the final approach fix. Since this is so quick, it makes sense to look at this approach plate. That's something that you normally do. We want to make sure that this is the approach that we really want. It's the RNAV GPS runway 14 Weeds. That's what we want. Yep. You're surrounded. You're in a little box canyon here with mountains all around you.
Sure.
And so you want to get a mental picture of when we get down there, if we get to the missed approach point, where is that? That's at Z, what is that? Whatever that last point is. Z what?
ZIXIB. ZIXIB.
Yeah. That's the missed approach point. And your GPS, your primary flight display will tell you that's it.
Okay.
At the bottom of that thing, it'll have a suspend that will light up. SUSP. And what that means is it's not going to sequence for the missed approach until you press suspend. Once you do that, then it'll show the next fix will be GRENA, and if you hook up the autopilot to the nav, it'll fly that turn, it'll take you straight to GRENA, and then the rest of the missed approach. All the way down here now, and we can look at our minimums. They're category A because these are predicated on approach speed.
Yep.
It starts at DIMGE at 5,100, and it shows 173. That's the approach course. Then it shows CANKI 4,600 with a line underneath of it. That means you don't go to below 4,600. That's the floor until you cross CANKI. That Maltese cross there and under CANKI is a final approach fix symbol. Okay. So it tells you that that's the final approach fix. It'll tell you what the descent angle is and threshold crossing height, TCH. These are MDAs. MDA means minimum descent altitude. That means you do not go below MDA until you have something in sight. Okay. If you see the approach light system, whatever that might be, and not much or any of the runway, you can still descend from that point if you choose to do so. If you don't see anything at all, you're in the soup, and you know it's like you're blind at that altitude and the missed approach point, which is ZIXIB, then you do that missed approach procedure. Approach lights are enough to let you go lower. You can go down to 100 feet. With approach lights. By 100 feet, you need to see something on the other side of the threshold. You need to see runway centerline lights, touchdown zone lights, edge lights, paint, something. Okay. If you see that, then you're clear to land if you have the visibility. In this case, it's 1 mile visibility.
Okay.
So this runway is 5,000 feet. That's about a mile, right?
So I should be able to see the end of the runway and somewhat
if you
beyond.
can see the other end of that runway, then you're legal to land.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
See magnetos to start. Clip up.
All right, she's good. We'll check the oil pressure.
What do you want to use? 2440?
Yeah, whatever. We can just
440. All right, transponder is set.
Now you've already got this in here though, right? Because otherwise I'd get rid of it.
It looks like I do. I went ahead and put it in.
Oh, okay. Now we've got up here at the very top in magenta, it shows direct GRENA.
Okay.
GRENA's our waypoint, and that's what we want, right? So we would run the tachometer up to like 1,700 RPM.
Sure, we got the brakes on. Let's do it.
And then we would check the mags. Alternators working good for us. If we get up in the air and we lose the alternator, we got a good chance of losing these flight instruments.
Okay.
And in instruments conditions, that isn't any good at all. Now we've got a standby down here, that low one, the old school looking one down here in the middle. If we lost that big digital one, that's where we'd be going to fly the airplane and get out of town. So do we have that departure control frequency or Seattle Center frequency up there?
12485. All right, Sikyou traffic. This is Cessna 172 Sierra Papa, departing runway 17 straight out.
Okay, so when we get on the runway, we want to put the heading bugs straight up and down. Fire it up and let's go.
Copy. Taxi left for runway 17.
Now, one of the things that I told my student, the pastor, is don't let anybody rush you. When you're ready, you're ready. If you're not ready, say I'm not ready.
Makes sense to me.
I'm just, that's just an FYI. If you're ready, you're ready. Let's go.
I'm ready.
Those people in weed are waiting for you.
Mm-hmm.
A limp windsock like that is probably less than 5 knots. It's not even moving around, so it's probably not even a couple knots.
A windsock's got feelings too.
If it was, yeah. It's like when you just came out of the pool.
There it is.
Yep. Oh, that's good.
Great. All right, away we go.
All right. Woo-wee. Stay on that center line.
Yes, sir. Right on it, like you're on rails. That's the mark of a champion.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got airspeed.
60 knots.
Yes, sir.
70 knots. Rotate.
Up we go.
All right, full power climbing for 60 knots.
Yes, sir. And on IFR flying, you go right on the instruments, and you can turn on that autopilot right away.
Well, let's see here. Nav, AP.
Autopilot, and you can go nav.
Yep. And how do I tell it I want to?
Go to nav. Are you in nav? You got
I am
GPS,
in nav, but I need to turn
vertical speed. Go to vertical speed.
Vertical
VS.
speed.
VS.
Nose up. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Look at up here, and the rate of climb 900 feet is probably about as good as a 172 can do.
Well, yep. Okay, we're starting to see our speed drop down as we are climbing at 900. I think we can do more than that.
Well, I would let it just kind of ease back. Well, you could go another notch or two up. Go to 1,000 or 1,100 feet.
Let's try 1,100 and see how we do. Okay, so we're on. Map is showing. The chart's showing we are on the course line for GRENA.
Okay. And
2.2 nautical miles.
The very top, that magenta GRENA says that's the active waypoint. That's where you're going. Okay, so it's
speed's starting to drop off, so I'm going to go ahead and put nose down 1.
Well, you wanted to climb at 60, right? But yeah, 1 notch down. That's
one notch
good.
down.
Now, I don't think we're going to be at our altitude before we get to GRENA, so we got to be ready to hold. The inbound was 176, wasn't it?
Yep.
The outbound 356. It's going to be a direct entry.
Uh-huh.
So as soon as you hit GRENA, matter of fact, right now, I would move that heading bug straight up and down.
All right, moving that heading bug straight up and down.
You just tap the.
Yep, got it.
Center it.
Yep.
Center.
It's centered.
Okay, I've got some sort of an update here. There you go. Okay.
1 nautical mile to GRENA.
You're on heading mode. Okay, so as soon as this thing shows 0 for GRENA,
yep,
and you could actually suspend it, but let's not bother with that. So you'll immediately make a right turn to 356.
All right, so if I'm on nav mode, I can set heading bug to 356.
You're going to have to go to heading mode. That'll be displayed way up here. So touch the heading.
I'm on heading mode now.
Okay, I'm not seeing it on my display. But if you are, I believe you.
I am. Okay, we're there.
Okay, so just slew it around to the right.
356?
Yes, sir. Yeah, okay, I see heading now. So slew it to 356.
Okay, we're on 356. Plane is banking to the right.
Okay.
And I am below.
Okay, you want to lower the nose a little bit.
Yep,
there.
I'm dropped below 60 knots. Okay, speed is recovering.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. Well, it's going to level off here pretty soon anyway, but you can lower it down to 500 or 600 feet per minute. And now, down here on the primary flight display, the left panel, all the way to the right of those lower arrow keys, there's a time slant ref. See it?
I see it.
Touch that arrow.
Okay.
And pop up the timer.
Okay. It's up.
Okay. There's a little delay. I'm not seeing it.
All right.
You go outbound for a minute. So as soon as you're on 356 heading, hit the enter button and it'll start the timer.
Okay. I'm on 356. Timer is begun. Yep, it's counting up.
You're going to go outbound for a minute.
Outbound for a minute.
then you're going to turn and go direct back to GRENA. And the problem is, see, that GRENA's not in here anymore because we didn't suspend the sequencing. So what you can do is, you've got a couple options. You can either just turn to that and go eyeball it on the chart, or you can go over here to the flight plan and click back to GRENA and go direct GRENA once you're inbound. That make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I know what to do.
So you decide which way you want to accomplish that. So we're watching our time. We got 30 more seconds outbound. And actually, that's how a holding pattern is done. But if you wanted, you can cut that short. And
Well, that's all right.
Turn back to 176.
All right, I'll go ahead.
Somewhere thereabouts.
All right, turning right 176.
Once you're close to that heading, you can go do this direct GRENA again, and then re-engage nav. And at that point, you'll be ready to start the instrument approach.
Got it. Now we've hit our altitude of 6,000. It's now holding 6,000 feet, and speed was increasing. So I'm pulling the throttle back.
There you go. Yeah, usually about 2,500 RPM is normal Cessna cruise. Yeah, not that far back.
Well, I'm reducing my speed because I'm trying to make this turn. I don't want to be.
Oh, I hear you. Okay, that's fine.
All right.
I'm hell bent for speed, so I'm full power all the time.
We'll give you your speed here in a minute.
Get back here on PFD and get rid of that timer. You want to have it clean, so you don't need the timer anymore. I'd come down here, click it again, and get rid of it.
Timer is gone.
Okay. All right.
And we're establishing on 176.
So go to this nav display.
Uh-huh.
And GRENA's nav. The nav display.
I'm there.
Okay, I'm not seeing it.
Sorry.
GRENA is highlighted, so go hit the direct button and see if it pops up GRENA.
All right, activate.
The D arrow button. And in that box that pops up, does it show GRENA?
Yep, it does. It says activate. I have activated it.
Press enter.
Yep.
And then go back to the primary flight display, verify it's up at the top, and then press nav if it is.
Looks good. It is, so I'll press nav.
Yes, sir.
And plane. All right, we are doing a right turn to establish on GRENA. GRENA is 0.9 nautical miles away.
The other thing we can do is look at that flight plan and make sure that the next fix is in fact the next fix. And that tells us the airplane's going to do what we want it to do.
All right, and I see here it's telling me DTK 162 in 10 seconds, which means we're about to hit GRENA. It's going to transition to flying toward DIMGE.
DIMGE. Okay, and that altitude to DIMGE is what on the chart?
5,100 feet, which means we need to descend.
Yes, sir. You can set 5,100 feet in the altitude and then start a descent. I would use vertical speed for that and put the nose down about maybe 700 feet per minute.
Vertical speed, nose down, 700 feet per minute, beginning descent.
There you go.
Speed's increasing, so I'm going to go ahead and pull my throttle back a little bit so that it's a nice moderate speed increase.
How's he doing, T-Nuts? You feeling safe?
Oh, dude, he's in the soup, but he's doing a great job.
There's mountains all around, guy.
Oh, boy. It's
Let's
like
see
flying
if
a submarine.
Let me push this range forward. You can see on the, there you go.
If only you could see them.
Wow.
All right. Now,
that's
I want you to get in the habit of having that heading bug straight up. If it's not straight up, you want to get it there. So all you got to do is tap that heading knob, the center of it, and it'll put it right straight up and down.
There we go. That feels good. Now I want to go ahead and quickly transition my chart on my ForeFlight to the approach chart like we agreed to do.
Yes, sir.
So I have that in front of me now, 5,100 to DIMGE, and the next waypoint after that is CANKI at 4,600 feet.
Now let me tell you something that you could do later on. We don't need to do it now. But when this airplane is level at 5,100 feet, and let's say instead of 4 miles to DIMGE, it was 40 miles.
All right.
If you do Alt-T on your keyboard, it'll go 2 times speed.
Oh, wow.
You go Alt-T again, it goes 4 times speed. If you go Alt-T again, it goes 8 times speed. And if you do it again, it goes 16 times speed.
Wow.
And so it moves really fast to get down the road and not waste your time. What I usually do is about 2 to 3 miles before the next fix, I hit Alt T again and it goes back to normal speed.
Gotcha. All
But
right.
you need to be stable. If you're turning or if you're climbing or descending, it goes crazy.
You'll overshoot. It'll just, it's a bad scene. You don't want to do
It's ugly.
that. All right.
What comes after DIMGE?
After DIMGE is CANKI. And at CANKI, we're going, the altitude at CANKI is 4,600. Yes, and the track is 173. So there's going to be an 11-degree turn to the right, and we're going to descend to 4,600 feet.
Okay, so what you can do is you can set 4,600 in the altitude.
All right, we're going to set 4,600 in the altitude.
One of the things you want to do when you're flying is, what am I doing now and what's coming up?
4,600.
Anticipation.
Yep.
What's coming up is we're going to descend.
All right.
What you don't want to have happen is approach like this, is you get behind and you miss the approach because you didn't get down.
Right.
You want to do that. That's not good.
No, I got you. So we've got altitude set. We're 1.4 nautical miles from DIMGE. We've got nav mode selected on the autopilot, so it should make the turn automatically. We're now 1 mile.
Yeah. And what you want to do is you want to verify that. If you look at the top in those green enunciations, GPS says nav is controlling the autopilot. AP says autopilot's on. Altitude is pitch. Its altitude says it's level at 1,500 feet. We can verify that.
Yep. All right.
Your signal for your turn, it's coming.
Okay.
8 seconds, 7 seconds, that's what I'm seeing.
Yep, and you're a little bit behind. You're about 10 seconds behind, but we're going ahead. We're turning. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and hit vertical speed, nose down. And
down about 500-600 feet per minute. If you don't need to go steeper, I wouldn't do it.
All right, so we'll do 500 feet per minute.
In instrument flying, you want to do things nice and easy if you can, and that does two things. It helps keep everything stable, and if you've got passengers, a lot of times their ears are very sensitive.
Sure.
You know, if you're an old dog pilot like me, my ears, they don't care.
Sure.
But you know, for a lot of passengers, they'll start to go, oh man, my ears are starting to hurt. Babies will start to cry. They'll start throwing rotten tomatoes at you.
Oh sure, I'd believe it.
Yeah. There's just no appreciation for a good aviator anymore.
Tell me about it. 1.5 nautical miles to CANKI. We should talk about what comes next. Next is ZIXIB. That's a heading of 150, and that's going to be...
that's the missed point, right?
The missed approach point, right. So we need to descend down to our MDA, don't we?
Yes, sir. And what would that be?
3380.
Okay. And
it's supposed to be a 3.5 degree glide slope.
Right. Okay, 3380, you are correct.
All right, so I'll set the altimeter. Set it to 3,400. Okay, we've just hit CANKI and are turning towards ZIXIB, so we should begin our descent.
Yes, sir.
All right.
And now what we want to look at, too, is how much altitude we have to lose and how much distance, okay? Because sometimes it's a lot of altitude in a short distance. In this case, it's 3.8 nautical miles to go down 1,200 feet. I would probably go to 800 or 900, even 1,000 feet down.
800 or 900. Got it.
Vertical speed down. See that magenta diamond there that's right next to the altitude?
I do. That's our glide slope indicator.
That's the vertical path, and that says you're right on the money.
Good.
Now, if you start to get above it, give another 100 down.
All right. It looks like we are. It's the bubble is rising.
Okay. Well, you can adjust at 100 either way. Yeah, as long as it's close, you're in good shape. Because what would happen if you break out of the clouds? If there's a VASI, you'll be right on the VASI, red over white.
Nice. It's continuing to bubble up.
Okay, then you can bring the nose up one notch. In other words, reduce the descent.
Got it. Yep. Okay.
How are we doing?
It's correcting.
Let's get rid of that screen and see what we're seeing out the window there.
All right. Let's take a look.
If you Control W.
Control W.
On your keyboard.
Oh yeah.
See what happens.
I see lights. I see the runway.
Everything.
I see
Now,
it.
If you want to get back to the inside look, shift 7 will bring it back.
I'm back. All right, I see the runway.
Okay. There you go.
All
You're
right.
good.
I guess we better fly manually now.
As long as you're ready for that, go ahead and disconnect the autopilot. Just bring it on in.
Autopilot is disconnected.
Just like
500.
a big dog. Now you can still use that magenta diamond or whatever you want to call it to help you make sure you're on the right descent
1
path.
mile
You're not
final
getting
runway
too low,
14.
Right?
Got it. That makes sense.
That's a valuable resource for you.
Got it.
Sweet. Yeah, that's pretty realistic.
That's
That's
not
what it looks
bad.
like.
Looks like we're a little low, so I'll go
The
ahead.
Bazzy shows you're a little high, doesn't it?
Bazzy shows I'm low. 2 reds.
I see 2 whites.
Well, I
I see red and white maybe. Okay, whatever. You fly the plane.
all right.
I've got a 10-second delay here, so.
All right. I'm on my way down.
And speed's good, right? You got to keep watching that speed. It's easy to get slow,
Yeah, you're right about that.
and you don't want to do that.
No,
There you go.
67 knots.
That's looking great. Really good.
All right.
And the magenta diamond says you're just about right on the vertical path. So you're
We're over the fence. Right on center line.
Very nice.
Rolling out. 40,
There.
35. Whoop. Hang on. Easy there, buddy. Whoa. Those brakes are
Okay.
sensitive.
And everybody applauds. Woo!
Nice landing.
Thanks. Ooh. There we
was-
go. Oh, those
I
brakes are sensitive.
I was flying up in Alaska when we lived up there, and bad weather. Nobody landed in Kodiak for 2 days.
Jeez.
And so we flew down there and we landed, and the whole airplane erupted in clapping. I felt like a hero.
Oh, man. What a day.
That was good. Now, here's an FYI.
Yep.
If you were to go and look at the ODP, the Obstacle Departure Procedures for weed,
Uh-huh.
my guess, it says NA for runway 14.
Because they do not want you taking off runway 14, right?
Because you're going right into that box canyon with all those big mountains right in front of you. So it'll tell you how to get out of here using the other runway. What's the other runway? Add 200, subtract 20. So 14 would be 340 minus 20 would be 320. The other runway is 32.
Runway 32.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. Well, great. That was awesome, huh? What do you think?
Oh, I had a good time. That was great. Just loved the guidance. The guidance throughout. I think that is. You can't buy that. That's incredible.
I'm for sale.